Easy people, welcome back to my channel at Big Steve MCFC. And today I'm with my good friend, very special friend of mine, Parisian Londoner Stuart. How are we doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. I'm looking forward to that conversation. I think it will be really interesting, and also to learn from you guys as well. So yeah. A lot of things to explain, also to the non Ligue 1 or French football or PSG football fans that are not following the French football and the French way to support as well. So a lot of things that I can clarify and explain. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, well, basically, why I wanted to do this show, I wanted to try and do something different. I wanted to try and bring difference of opinion to my channel. We're both got Middle Eastern owners. We're both in the oil club, as they would say.
The oil connection.
Yeah, from outside looking in, the paths have been different. I mean, we look at our path. People try and say we did this, you bought that, but we look a lot of structured. The academy, the stadium upgrades, the way we went out and bought players. We didn't go out and buy ready-made superstars. We went and got players from Monaco, from Benfica, from Dortmund, and we sort of integrated it into the team, and we built this mentality now. And this season, obviously, we've won the treble and we're the champions of Europe. Me and you have had this discussion on the sofa at Don Robbie and that about which one was maybe going to get the European Cup first. And I'll be honest with you. From an outside looking in, when I see Paris Saint-Germain signing Neymar, when I see them signing Mbappe, when I see them signing Messi, I'm thinking, this is going to be a team. But as we've had the conversation before, it's not all rosy in the PSG garden, is it, Stuart? And it's not what a lot of the hardcore Paris fans, they're not happy with this ownership. They're not happy with this model. And you just try and explain to me as a City fan who's obviously on cloud nine that anyone would love Messi, anyone would love Neymar, and anyone would love Mbappe, but they don't want to sacrifice the heritage and the traditions of the club, which seems to me that the Qatar owners are too busy assembling the Avengers, as you put it.
The Avengers, yes, the Hollywood FC team.
So explain to me, Stuart, what's going wrong at PSG?
So if we start from the beginning in 2011, when they took over, no one wanted to take over us. We had issues amongst the PSG fans. Terrible events happened, and obviously no one was really interested in taking over PSG. Rumor is around the fact that Qatar was firstly interested in taking over Man United in 2011, but unfortunately did not work out. So then we were the second choice. They came, and to be fair, let's start with the positive. At the very beginning, it was not looking too bad. You know, when Ancelotti came, when we signed Pastore, Thiago Motta, Matuidi, even Ibrahimovic was all right with Ancelotti as a gaffer. We had the impression that they were bringing some kind of style of play, something fresh, and they had a kind of a clear project in mind, and it was not too bad at that time. And I'd say the branding, marketing took over quite fast, actually, with your friend David Beckham. Remember when he signed for 6 months at the end of his career? He's finished his career at PSG. This is when we're like, there's something going on here. Like, why are they bringing him? Like, it's the end of his career. He's not going to bring anything to the club. And we started to worry about what was the plan behind this, pretty much. So again, the Qatar contributed to our domestic success a lot at a France level. I'm not gonna lie, but when they took over, they quickly had something in mind that was putting and focusing mainly on the marketing, branding stuff rather than the football project. And as you can see, I'm here living in London. I always walk around and I see people wearing Jordan tracksuit of PSG, etc. You go to them and you ask them, "Oh, you're a PSG fan?" They're like, "No. It just looks good. It looks sick." I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like, I thought I found a fellow PSG fan I could, talk and have a conversation about our common passion for the club. But it's not. It's turned into a fucking brand. I'm sorry to say, and we are pissed off about this because now we have people supporting the club for the wrong reasons. That's it. So the point is, we are very frustrated because these ownership and the potential of that ownership in terms of investment, financial power, etc., was really promising. Obviously, in the era of modern football, anyone in this live saying oil money, this and that is modern football is all about money these days anyway. If you don't have money, you die and you cannot win titles. That's just a fact. But money is not everything. Money is not everything. If you have a proper football project in mind, such as what Man City put in place, and we will obviously talk about Newcastle towards the end of the stream, which is a very good example of how smart investment should happen. If you have a proper project related to football in mind, then it can work, especially with financial power. But if it's all about building a brand, you're going nowhere. And this is why we kept saying Hollywood FC, the Avengers. When I was on the Don Robbie show for the transfer talk, and he was asking me, "Oh, Messi's linked to the club. Are you? Will you be happy with Messi signing for PSG?" And I was like, "No, I don't want Messi at my club." I got rusted. Rusted by everyone. And now look what happened. Why? Because Messi joined, and we signed players that did not need to prove anything in football anymore. Got rid of Thiago Silva, replaced him with Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos has nothing to prove in football. Got rid of all the midfielders or whatever, or all the academy players such as Kingsley Coman and Nkunku, all those talents that we have in the Paris region. We replace them with fucking Neymar, Messi, and we pay shitloads of money instead of building something from the talent we have in the academy and the Paris region, which is really frustrating. Because when you think about this, the Paris region is the first to develop footballers, professional footballers in the world. You have Riyad Mahrez. He's not from the PSG academy. He's from the Paris region. I can name all of them. N'Golo Kante, all of them. Pogba, etc. All of them, Konate, etc. At Liverpool, we have so many talents in the Paris region that we completely missing out on, and instead we're paying shitloads of money abroad to build the Avengers team with no real connections, no style of play. We're changing gaffers every 2 seasons, so there's no long-term plan. There's no patience from the owners. And when I was attending the final on the Don Robbie show and I was rooting for Man City, it's because I wanted Man City to teach a lesson to PSG on how to run a proper football project. So Qatar can learn about how football works when you have a clear plan in mind and you are showing patience, trust in your gaffer, trust in your academy players, and you invest smart. You are recruiting smart, the positions that you need, and not players to sell a lot of football kits. Then you will eventually win a Champions League. It takes time, but that's what you did, because that was a smart plan from your owners, and we are pissed off about this.
Yeah, I know that. Well, not many people know I went to Paris with yourself. We had an event in Paris attended by the PSG ultras and friends of PSG ex-players, and it was fantastic. And they are real passionate guys, proper passionate fans. They love the football club, and one of the things that stood out was the lack of connection. We seem to have people that were disappointed. I thought everyone would be happy with watching Neymar and Mbappe, but no. And, you know, we've seen people go into Neymar's house. We've seen people go into the training ground. We've seen the fans arguing on the stands, 50-50, one group for the owners, one group against it. I mean, explain to me how this all started to go sour, because, I mean, at the beginning, I think it was full of optimism. I think you said it. You started to get Ancelotti and Pastore and that, and you thought, oh, we're going somewhere. Was it the fact that when it did start to become a brand, when it did start to become more, instead of more about the football and the academy and about building something on the field, it become more about building something off the field? And then is that when the real hardcore Paris fans decided enough was enough?
Exactly, because now the fan base is divided, because with the recent success and the recent development of the PSG brand, Steve, do you know any other football club that has a shop on the 5th Avenue in New York, which is the most prestigious avenue in the world? There's a Paris Saint-Germain shop in the 5th Avenue in New York. Why? You think people are going and buying stuff in that shop for the badge, for the trophies, for for Paris, for the success, for the past? No, because they like the brand, and this is when it started to be complicated, and now the fan base is divided because we um um attracted fans that joined and started to support the club for the wrong reasons, such as Messi fans. Have you seen what happened with the socials of PSG when Messi left the club? They lost bloody
Somebody
2
mentioned it
million,
that
2 million followers or something like that in the space
Jesus.
of minutes. We have fans of players that are now attending the games with Argentina kids or whatever, and they cry if they don't see Messi playing. They don't come to watch PSG playing. They come to watch Messi playing. They come to watch Neymar playing. And if they don't play, it's like you go and attend the concert or show. If they don't play, they are about to go back to the ticket office and say, please refund, because I
Yeah.
paid my money to watch Neymar or Messi play. But football does not work like that. You go and watch your team. That's not about the players. Now it just became all about the players, the branding and everything. So obviously you have true, dedicated, passionate PSG fans from early stages that are now frustrated to see new fans that are not supporting the club for the right reasons, and that is frustrating. We call them glory hunters. You guys, with the recent success as well, had also, and it's part, I guess it's part of the game as well. That's
Yeah.
fine if you're a glory hunter, but then you embrace the culture, you embrace the badge, and now you start to be a true passionate fan of the club. We have no issues with that. But if you're just here to for the wrong reasons, the brand, the vibe, it's cool, it's fashionable, it's trendy, you shouldn't be here. Go support another club. We don't need you. You know what I mean? So that's
Your
when it started to be
your
complicated.
fans. You told me your fans sometimes in the ultra section have thrown fans out of there
Yeah,
for Messi fanboys and that. Get out. They don't want them
yeah,
in there.
I know,
Yeah.
but mate, that's the problem. The ultra thing. It's another thing when we obviously protested against ownership recently. It's because some measures the club wanted to put in place some measures related to the way you dress in the stand, etc. Like where a bit from a freedom perspective, were a bit dodgy. So obviously the true dedicated PSG fans, i.e., the ultras that are supporting the club from day one and that are sacrificing their lives for that football club going on away. You know how it is, Steve. How many games do you attend per year? You sacrificing your family life, you sacrificing your finances, you sacrificing your professional life, everything for that football club.
People
And
don't
then
understand that, Stuart. People don't
exactly,
understand that. They try and tell me, they're trying to come at me online. It's fans like you, the Main Road loser fan, apparently. And I'm a loser because I supported City at Main Road. It's people like me, while Manchester City won't ever win the Champions League, but they think because they get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and watch Man City on the TV and have a cup of coffee and then go to work, that there's some sort of difference to me. Listen, I sacrifice my family life. I
there
miss
you
seeing
go.
my kids. You know
There
what?
you go.
61 games I went to this year, including pre-season friendlies,
That
home
is
and away.
mental. That is
Yeah,
mental. And when you have those ultras that are making their voices heard about ownership, about the way the club is run by the owners, the way it's going, the direction is going, etc., and they're not happy with that, and they want to be heard, i.e., going in front of the headquarter in Paris called La Factory, protesting with flares, banners, drums, megaphones, everything. A little group is just going in front of Neymar's house, saying that they don't want him at the club because obviously he's taking the piss out of us in terms of image. He's just here for the vibe. He's not really respecting the fans anyway, etc. So they're not happy. Okay, it's not a big deal. That's okay. That's maybe not the best idea in the world, but again, it's not really shocking, proper shocking. You know what I mean? So yeah, those fans that are sitting on their sofa on Twitter are getting flabbergasted by the PSG fans that are, lighting up flares, protesting, except those guys that are sitting on the sofa all day long, we haven't seen them in Paris. We haven't
no.
seen them in the stands, right? They're just buying the new Jordan kits and stuff like that for the vibe, blah, 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 blah. And that's it. And now they are taking the piss out, or they are judging the ultras, or you know what? You either agree. I'm not an ultra. I'm not. I used to be in the ultras. I'm still attending games in the ultra stand. Obviously, I have connections with them, etc. And I'm not officially a member of the association of an ultra group, but I'm still with them. But I'm an independent PSG fan. But if you are considering what they are sacrificing and you're judging them, whether you agree with what they do or not, you should at least respect their voices.
There's a
And I
comment
think
here
that's what happened.
There's a comment here from tonight. It says all proper fans of the club deserve equal respect. Doesn't matter if they're local or abroad. Local fans sacrifice their family time and money. The global fans sacrifice their sleep and time. Do you agree with that?
Okay, I think we had the debate around this. I'm not talking about making a difference between an abroad fan and a local fan. I'm not talking about fans from the Paris region and fans from abroad. I.e., me, I'm living in London for about 6 years now. I'm a born and raised Parisian to spend 27 years of my life in Paris attending games. Am I now a lesser of a fan than a PSG fan in Paris? That's a debate we can have because I'm attending less games, etc. If you want, but obviously what we're trying to say, and I think that's the debate we had in my previous podcast, Steve, which was related to support your local club. That's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm supporting Paris because I'm a born and raised Parisian. I'm from the Paris region. I can tell you right now, if I was born in Bordeaux or Lyon or whatever, somewhere else in Rennes in France, I would have probably supporting Rennes or Lyon or Bordeaux. You know why? Because I would probably had more opportunities to attend games, be in the stands, cry, light up flares, support my team by living in this city as well. So that's my opinion. But again, football is different because it's 2023 now and you have people supporting big clubs from abroad, and it's totally fine. But if you're making the effort from abroad to at least be dedicated to that club, not only just watching games on your sofa and tweeting, and try to at least be educated and learn about the history of the club, love the badge, love anything around the club, and not only the players and the vibe, then I guess that's a similar passion, but it's not the same. I'm sorry, it's not the same. It's not the same.
Talk to me about Neymar, not Neymar. Talk to me about Mbappe. When we heard he was going to Real Madrid, they thought they were going to sign Mbappe and Haaland, and this was it. I was in Madrid. They were saying to me, fans, we're signing Mbappe, we're signing Haaland, and this, that, and the other. They ended up with none of them. Obviously, we got Haaland over the line. The way it came about, we got him for cheap. He came in, he said, I'm a City fan. I want to play for this club. He knuckled down. He's won what he's won. Mbappe, there were talks about him having says in the boardroom. He was having says on this. He's having say on that.
That is bollocks, mate. That is bollocks.
What's the feeling around Mbappe in Paris? Is he your diamond? Do they love him there? Or is he another one who they think, you know what, it's time for him to go?
So Mbappe, as a player, we have no hard feelings around him. I'm talking about myself and my team. I have no legitimacy to talk on behalf of all the PSG fans, obviously. But the atmosphere around Mbappe is that there's no hard feelings around the player. He's obviously from the Paris region as well. Even if he's a Monaco academy player, he's tried everything he could with us. Everything. He's been exceptional. He's smashed all the records. He's been great. He's helped us a lot. So now the feeling around Mbappe is that he shouldn't take the piss too much, in the sense that if he wants to go, he should go. And we also have the impression, objectively, that PSG is impeaching him from unleashing his full potential as well, objectively. If tomorrow he goes Real Madrid or any of the Premier League clubs or whatever, he will smash it. The problem is that the way the club is run at the moment is impacting his performances, and that's just the way it is. So when you take everything into considerations, and best interest of both parties is to take some money out of him, let him go, do his thing. Don't let him go on a free. Don't give him all the keys of the kingdom, because it shouldn't be like that. And we should behave as an institution. He should respect the badge. Obviously, there's no player above the club, and we all are on the same page. But at the same time, the club should not behave in a weird way against him, like granting him the right to, say yes or no to that type of recruitment, or being involved in the negotiations with other players. I don't know what's happening in the background, but he has a massive role, obviously, when he has renewed. But now, I'm sorry, it's time to go. It's time to go. He has to go. We cannot let him go on a free at the end of his agreement. Otherwise, it will be shameful and disrespectful towards the institution. He wants to
Do
go
you
Real
think?
Madrid. Let
Do you
him
think
go.
he's going Real Madrid, or do you think if Man United get the Qatari owners in there, that they might have him as a marquee signing?
Exactly. That's what I have in mind as well, Steve. That's what I have in mind. Because obviously, when you think about that, obviously his dream club is Real Madrid. But if the Qataris are taking over Man United, they can take Neymar with them. They can take Mbappe with them. And as we discussed earlier, we might turn into a B team of Man United or reserve team, and all the Man United rejects, they will send them to PSG. That's what we're afraid of, by the
Would
way.
you
But
not be
that's
happy
another.
with Scott McTominay and Fred in midfield? No.
No, brother. No, 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 no. You
Can
know
I just
what?
get this super chat? Let me just get this super chat from Johnny. Say PSG as a brand is sexy for players to join. Paris is a better city than Manchester. It's just from the point of being the capital city.
Yes.
John, Paris is a sexier brand, and Paris is a great city. Don't get me wrong, but from a footballing point of view, we've got the treble sat on the table, and we're champions of Europe. So if any player's got any something about him, he's going to want to go to Manchester and play for the best team in the world, and not go to Paris for the vibes. This is what we're talking about. This is why
Exactly.
there's a lot of players signed for Paris Saint-Germain for the
Wrong
wrong
reasons.
reasons.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just want to talk about domestically, you know, you're winning trophies. We know that. You know, but people would never give PSG the legitimacy until they win the Champions League. Same as us. We've had it thrown at us for years. You'll never be a big club. You'll never be this until you win the Champions League. You'll never be classed as this. Thank God, Istanbul last week, best time in my life. We've done it.
Oh,
right?
my
We've done it.
days.
I know you're desperate for it because me and you've had a conversation about it. I know that.
Yeah.
But what I thought when I came up against Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League, when you take away the players on paper, when you look at the team on paper, it's frightening. You look at Paris and you think, shit. But what I found out was that there's no heart in the team. There's no determination in that team.
Agreed.
When you rattle Neymar, when you get under the skin of certain players, they don't track back. They're not really interested. And then anyone with a team spirit and an ethic
Discipline.
can wipe the floor up. And that's what you can get £1 billion and you can build the best 11 on the pitch. But if there's no chemistry, no team spirit, no grit, no determination, no pride in the badge.
Steve, we're changing gaffers every 2 seasons. Like, look, that one, the Marseille Galtier guy, stayed for 1 season. He was supposed to stay for 2 seasons, yeah? He was supposed to bring us all the domestic trophies. He got us kicked out by Marseille from the French Cup, by the way. He's from Marseille. So thank you, Galtier. That's great for us. Then also, mate, listen, the competition in the French league starts to be a bit more tough now. You see, Lens is doing well. Marseille is doing well. They have more chemistry than us. And it's not all about the money anymore. And also, if you change systems, gaffers all the time, then obviously the players, they don't know what they need to do. They don't know what is the system in place. They change every year and a half. So it does not make any sense. There's no stability. That's what we're craving and screaming for. Stability. Look at how long Pep took to win that Champions League. Of course, in the meantime, he won a lot of Premier League and domestic titles. But the owners have been patient with him. They trusted him. They trusted him in terms of recruitment. Look at your defense. Look at Ake. Look at those guys. They're not glamorous names. They're not going to sell a lot of kits like Sergio Ramos, but they are the ones that you need. They are the efficient ones. They are the ones that are needed for this system, for what you want to implement, what you want to put in place. And this is what football should be.
But this is what I'm trying to tell you. Pep Guardiola don't get the credit because people think Pep Guardiola turned up, spent a load of money, and he wins because he spent it. You know yourself. You've got to have chemistry. You've got to freshen the team up every season. You've got to get rid of players. We'll talk about it. We've got to talk about, me and you spoke about it, Cancelo. The way Manchester City dealt with the Cancelo issue compared to the PSG. You explained it to me on the phone. You tell me now how that was. You thought then that was an important difference between the two clubs.
Of course. Exactly, because that Cancelo kind of case study is an example of how a football institution should behave. And obviously the gaffer has and had full power in taking that decision as well, mate. Because Pep got rid of Cancelo because we don't know really what happened, but Pep came to the conclusion that Cancelo was no longer needed in the squad. So he said, I don't want him anymore. We should find a solution to send him somewhere else. That's it. The owners, the director, Sheikh Mansour or whatever, they believed the gaffer. They said, okay, if the gaffer says so, then we should back him up. The problem is, mate, what we have at the moment, do you think that the gaffer at PSG has full power and will have full power? When you have Messi, Neymar and Mbappe, right? If Mbappe or Messi or Neymar is underperforming and it's Pep on the bench with full power, he will say to Neymar, you are benched for that game. Maybe you will come in the second half, but for that game, you benched. And the owners of Man City will back up Pep. But at PSG, you can't do this, mate. You can't do this because you need to show the diamonds. Show up the diamonds on the pitch. Show people paid for the show. You need they need to start on the starting 11, even if they're not really performing. But that's no longer about football. That's the problem. So I'm not moaning.
This is a good one.
Would he want to remove the Qatari owners if he meant having good football and European? 100%, 200%, 300%. You know what? I would even say that I would prefer us having a mid-table squad, mid-table team with passion. Yeah. Footballers and players that are showing passion for the badge, struggling, recruitment from the PSG academy, from the Paris region, wait, patience, struggle, everything, and then let the project work for a bit of time, and in 5 years time maybe it's gonna work, but at least something that we can love. But there's no passion.
We've got a Tottenham fan in the chat, a Tottenham fan. I don't know what he's doing here. He must have got lost. Thanks for making Arsenal bottling it, but come on, you two clubs are both from the same cloth. Oil money, nothing pure about it. Man City, great football, but tarnished by cheating. That, ladies and gentlemen, that is from a Tottenham fan, right? I don't know if there's any mods in the chat, but you just need to block him. In fact, if I can,
that is laughable, mate.
That is funny, man. Tottenham, man, come on.
Oh,
let's see, everyone's saying Tottenham fans are chiming in. It's wild, but listen, I get it. What you're saying, the passion of the club.
Yes.
Do you feel there's a detachment from? I mean, one thing I'll give City, they've always kept the supporters in the loop. They've always contacted us with questionnaires. They've always done things from changing the badge to the kit to the stand to things about Colin Bell, the old heroes, all that. And I feel that Man City have done a good job in that. This season, when you watch City, you get loyalty points. So when you buy tickets, they go on sale to the loyalty points here and drop down and all that. Anyway, what we decided was that a lot of the younger fans coming through could never get tickets because the older guard have got all the points, which is fine. So they said they're going to do a ballot for 18 to 25-year-olds. They're going to make this 500 tickets available for each away game to these kids. So you got the older guys, a bit like me, who were moaning, saying, well, I've got loyalty points. How can these kids get this? So we said, right, okay, I get that. I do get that. But how are we going to keep the club growing? How are we going to freshen it up? How are we going to get the youngsters involved?
New generation.
So what we've done is, I said on my stream, let's let the kids go. Let's see what happens. And I tell you what, it was the best move the club did, because there was games where the older guard were flat and we were on our ass, and these youngsters just kept going all game. Boom, boom, boom.
There you go.
Come on, City. And what you've got now is you've got a connection between the older guys and the younger guys. They're all new. We've all met each other at away games. They're chatting. We go to Europe. We all sit together in the square. We met new people. And there's a real buzz around the fans and a real buzz around the support that I haven't seen.
That is really inspiring, mate. That is hopeful.
It's connected with the team. The team are, you look at, right, Erling Haaland is messaging me, right? I'm a City fan of 35 years. I goes to Arsenal and tells them there's a big shark on the case. Erling Haaland, Calvin Phillips, Rico Lewis, all these players have messaged me about this shark. So that shows me, a normal fan, that these players are paying attention to the supporters.
That is
mental.
And
we feel as a club that we've got a connection with these players. And what we felt is when the charges came out and all this, we're going to charge you, and the whole world was against us, we just locked ourselves in a Man City bubble and said, fuck you lot. We're Man City and we're having it. And we went out and we stormed the Premier League. We won the FA Cup and we're champions of Europe. And that's because we had this siege mentality in the club where we were all together. And I look at Paris, and your supporters are brilliant, and they came to City and they're fantastic. And when we went to Paris, they're real proper.
Yeah, of
But
course.
I feel the connection between the board, the players, and the fans is all over.
It's not comparable to you guys. That's the fact. It's not comparable to you guys. When I follow obviously your content for a while now, and the credit they give to not only the fact that they allow you to interact with the players and also with the club's official platforms and everything. It's not only about this. It's just that you are receiving credit because of your legitimacy as a true loyal Man City fan from the beginning as well, and that's how it should be normally, right? And that is inspiring because I think we are very late at PSG. We are very in advance in promoting the brand with collaborations with Jordan and all the players or singers or Jay-Z or whatever. But what about the true dedicated fans? What about the true dedicated fans, the ones that are supporting the club from early stages, die-hard PSG fans that are loving this club, this badge? Where are they? Where are they? You have influencers that are getting fucking VIP tickets in boxes and stuff like that from the club. But the other ones, the true dedicated ones that are still struggling to get tickets because obviously prices went up the roof with Messi and Neymar joining now. It's ridiculous in terms of prices, right? It's no longer a popular football anymore. So again, what are we trying to achieve? Where are we going right now? Obviously, we need to compose with modern football. And we shouldn't be like the old grandfather moaning about, oh, back in the days, that was true football. Yeah, if you want. But now we need to adapt, right? And there's a way to adapt. And I think Man City is a very good example on how to adapt and reconcile both, the true loyal fans from early stages with the recent investment, recent owners, and modern football at the same time. And you see the players. Look at Haaland, the way he's behaving. Have you seen that video with the little kid, with the Man United kid that was trying to take a selfie with him? And he asked him to hide the crest.
Yeah, man,
see?
we love that.
And now we are going to sign Lucas Hernandez, right? Lucas Hernandez from Bayern Munich. That said in many times in many videos everywhere in France. I was saying, I love Marseille. I'm from Marseille. I will always support Marseille. That it's everywhere on socials. And we're like signing this kind of players. And you're like, come on, boys, respect you. You don't need to do that to us. Please. Why are you doing this? And we need to accept it. Come on. Yeah, that is too much.
What about the you were talking to me before about these a planned stadium move or an expansion on the card?
Yes.
Are you worried about how that would affect? I thought you wanted to ask me some questions about the move from Main Road.
Yes, please. So because at the moment they are consulting fans around, because the state of PSG is that at the moment the owners are not the owners of the stadium. They are renting the stadium to the city of Paris. So they are tenants. They are paying a rent to the city of Paris. Obviously, they have improved the stadium a lot in terms of investment, generated a lot of money, and now they're willing to buy. They wanted to buy the stadium. And the mayor of Paris said, no, it should remain the property of the city of Paris. So we're not going to sell it to you. So now they are considering either building a new stadium or going to the fucking Stade de France, which is not a football stadium, rugby stadium, Beyonce stadium, whatever you want to call it. But it's not a stadium for PSG. My question to you is, how did you manage the move from Main Road to the Etihad Stadium, which is a state-of-the-art, proper, modern football stadium? And obviously, you have memories at Main Road, and it's part of the DNA of Man City. And how did you manage to accept that move, that upgrade to the Etihad Stadium?
Well, to be honest, Main Road was like, it was our home and everything. But I think then we had an open mind and realised the way football was going, we realised that we needed to maybe, take up the offer. The offer was the council build a stadium for the Commonwealth Games. It was only 3/4 finished. We gave them Main Road, and then we came into the Etihad and we sort of rebuilt it. But there was a lot of constraints. Obviously, it was rented off the council. You couldn't do this, you couldn't do that. It was just a grey shell at first.
Okay.
Very depressing grey shell.
Mm.
Obviously, when Sheikh Mansour came in, and he's got a lot of power. He's bought a lot of land, training ground. He builds us a stadium tomorrow if we needed it. We ended up getting it for really, really cheap, flat rent, which suits us. It's on a long-term 200-300-year lease. Training grounds there, hotels and all that being built. But the thing you struggle with is the atmosphere, because at Main Road, you get pockets of fans who've been there for years. They know each other. You know where everyone is who's singing and that's great. But at the Etihad, we were all over the place due to prices, due to moving and stuff. I feel that only recently with what's been going on, we've had the Aguero moment. We've had some big nights against Bayern Munich, Real Madrid at the stadium. We've beat United there. You know, we've had these memories there, and we're creating our own history there now. You know what I mean? Probably my most successful period in history is going to be at the Etihad.
Of course.
But I think you've got to consult the fans. I feel like you've got to make sure everybody's sat in the right sections. The South Stand at City now is only just, in my opinion, getting where it needs to be after all this time. Because they'll do something like, on the third
wait, is it the stand where I was right next to you guys? It's next to the away end when I was at the Etihad. Okay. That's a good one, because there's some interaction between the away fans and the City fans.
But what he said is, right, we're going to release a season ticket on level 3, which is 300 quid. So a lot of the lads who were on the South Stand, who were struggling and maybe not got a job or struggling for money, just went, I'm getting that up there. The half price season ticket, it went up. But then you want them lads down here with us. So if you're going to make a cheaper season ticket, make it affordable for the boys and then the people that want to sing and get behind the team. Because that way you create the atmosphere. But City are very positive in what they're doing. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of commercial lounges. There's a lot of corporate lounges. There's tunnel clubs. That is part of football.
That's the way football works these days, isn't it?
At the minute, I feel we've got a nice balance. That we're getting the Erling Haaland effect now. We've got Erling coming. He's a superstar. And we had Aguero, but I think Haaland level is just beyond anything.
True.
He's come in, he's smashed the Premier League. And every kid now in Manchester's walking around with a Haaland shirt on. No one's walking around with a fucking McTominay shirt on. Let me tell you that. Yeah. So it's just one of them things. We're expanding the North Stand now. We're putting a hotel in development. We've built a concert stadium next to the ground.
I want you to tell me about the involvement at a local community level, charity level, local community, etc. Because that when you briefly talked about this last time, and that was so inspiring on the way City has involved the local community.
Well, they have City in the community there. They have one of the best training grounds in the world. We get all the local teams from the area can come to the training ground. They can train there. They can use the facilities.
Create jobs.
Sheikh Mansour has bought a lot of housing properties, redeveloped them all. He's done up the area. He's invested in schools. He's invested in buildings. The infrastructure around Manchester, East Manchester now is unbelievable what he's done. So they've not just came into the club, drained the money out of the club and kept away. They've invested in the Manchester Children's Hospital. They've done things like you wouldn't believe. When you actually dig into it, there's a lot of things they do that they don't publicise. But, you know, the council is always saying about Abu Dhabi and what they're doing in Manchester. And that is something beyond football. When you see things like this happening, then you've got to respect it. You know what I mean? That they're actually delivering. But every club they've took over in the world, New York, they build football pitches. There's no green space. They build football pitches on the roof of skyscrapers so the kids can play football. Yeah. They built new academies in Uruguay, FC Torquay, Mumbai in India.
Mumbai, now Australia as well, I think.
Australia are now the champions. Mumbai's the champions. Girona are now on the way back up
and
to...
you have Estac in France. Troyes. Estac is part of the City Group, that French club.
Yeah, Troyes. They got relegated, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they'll be back. He mentioned it in the interview, Khaldoon. He said, we've been relegated, but we'll reset and we'll come back.
There you go. And you see, Qatar is I think trying to copy that model as well. The City Group model is also very interesting in the way they are invested in a lot of different football clubs in a lot of different countries. So again, that is inspiring, man. When you mentioned that a local community involvement is just what do you want me to say? When that person asks about it's the same as being a local fan and a fan from abroad. You see, it's not, you don't feel and leave the passion the same way. It's just a fact. You mentioned when you guys are getting roasted and you have to spend the whole day at work afterwards. You can feel it in the city everywhere. It's not the same as just turning off your TV and getting along with your life. It's not the same. So no, it's really inspiring. Again, I think we have a lot to learn from Man City. Um, because that shows you that respect towards the true dedicated fans, uh, along with modern football, along with big money investment, can actually work if you have a proper long-term plan in mind and patience. I think it can work. So I think if PSG is getting inspired by this, it can work.
So Messi's gone. You mentioned the
Yeah,
Hernandez signing. I mean, do PSG have to start again? Do they have to rethink the model? Do they have to maybe have a
100%.
couple of seasons where they're not filled with Galacticos? Maybe would you like to see 4 or 5 academy players come in and you have a season where
100%.
you maybe finish 4th or 5th, but then you can see the club building slowly,
I'd love to.
and then sprinkle a bit of superstar on it and then go again? Or would you? Because are you basically saying this model of grab these older
It's not
players who are
working.
superstars is not working?
It's not working, mate. Obviously, it's not working. So that's why the answer to your video's title was obvious to anyone. Obviously, you cannot compare the City model to the PSG model. The City model is working.
Yeah,
The
look, Edward.
PSG.
Edward says it. Look, I'm loving the passion of this guy, Big Steve. He's definitely got a bit of shark in him. Stuart's real. I met Stuart the first time we had to do a Paris Saint-Germain Man City watch along together, and
Yeah,
he must have looked at me and thought, who's this fucking plastic Man City fan just walked in?
not
And I looked
really.
at him and
No.
thought, who's this plastic PSG fan who just walked in? And then within 10 minutes, I knew he wasn't plastic. He definitely knew I wasn't plastic. And we've been friends ever since.
There you go. There you
You know?
go. There you
And
go.
we've been to Paris together. We've been to the Etihad together. We've been to
Mm-hmm.
Crystal Palace together.
Yes.
See, so
That
we
was
you know,
again. This is that's the type of that is really interesting because passion speaks to passion, plastic speaks to plastic, and that's just the way it is. The love you have for your club is the same as I have for my club, my city, my badge. And the problem we have at the moment, mate, we're talking about the youngsters, the new generation in Paris. They don't recognize themselves in PSG anymore.
no.
They're not supporting PSG. The youngsters from the Paris region, they don't see themselves in PSG anymore. Some of them, they even prefer to support clubs from abroad, or even we have another club in Paris, which is in the second division called Paris FC. That is also representing, and some of the new fans they see themselves more in the Paris FC club, and they go to other clubs, Red Star, I don't know, whatever, but they don't see themselves in PSG anymore because they don't see PSG as a Paris club anymore. It's more like an international brand, and that is really worrying, mate. That is really worrying, and I hope we will sort that out because we can't miss out on the new generation, mate. As you said,
Yeah, well, that is sad when you hear that. I mean, you're going to get a lot of fans because, like you say, the branding and the way they've built the club up on a commercial level is fantastic. We get that. But they've got to keep and remember that they're not a brand, they're a football club. And there's a generation coming through now that need to identify and be able to have some attachment to this football club and feel part of it. This is why what we did with these young kids now, they've been on a journey this season. They've been to Bayern Munich. They've been to Leipzig. They've been to Istanbul last week in that Navidad Street. All them videos of all them young lads and girls having the time
I've
of their
seen it
lives. That is a connection with a club that you cannot take away.
forever,
That is a connection you'll never take away.
forever.
And they deserved it because we've had so much shit in this city off the other side to go and do the treble and to be champions of Europe finally.
Mental.
We're standing here now tall. They're coming on our chat here. 115 cheats, you're this, you're that. That's the famous Man United, yeah? The biggest club on the planet are resorting to coming into a Man City PSG podcast and leaving little comments like United are the best because they're struggling to deal with the fact that in Manchester, they ain't relevant anymore. Nobody gives a fuck about them. So they need Qatar. But all I'm saying is, if they're watching this podcast, Stuart is on the end of Qatar. He's experienced Qatar. He's seen Messi and Mbappe.
There you
and all
go.
that. But for every pound they spend and for every good thing you think they're doing, there's a lot of bad at the end of the
You
rainbow
have to
as well.
pay the price somehow. You have to pay the price somehow. And if I have a message to the United fans, I would say, don't get too excited. Don't get too excited about the Qatar takeover. Obviously, again, remember, we were excited because we needed money. No one wanted to take over PSG in 2011. No one. And obviously, you guys can say, oh, you are a small club. And I keep reminding people that we were creating in 1970. So we are babies in this game. And that's a fact. And we desperately needed investment. But Man United, you were the first to create the modern football that we know these days with the Americans. So you are a rich club from the beginning. And you've always been a rich club. So money has never been an issue at Man United. So the question now is, why do you need so much more money from Qatar? And also, what is the price to pay in terms of fans' involvement, power of the gaffer, in terms of decision power for the recruitment? Because obviously the big guy upstairs sitting in Qatar might decide that he wants to, I don't know, bring back Ronaldo one day because, we will probably sell more kits as well. You never know. And then you will have nothing to say, even if it does not make sense from a football perspective. So again, there's always the other side of the coin, and I hope it's going to work for you guys. But if that happens, we will probably be, as I said, the B team of Qatar. The reserve team of the Man United rejects will probably be sent to PSG, and I don't want this to happen, mate. If that happens, they might just go. It's better. Let's start from scratch.
Listen, Stuart, it's been a great 45 minutes, mate. I'm sure a lot of people from the City fan group are going to now go and support your channel.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Let them know where they can find you and what channels and what you've got coming up, because I enjoyed it, mate. And I wanted to bring you on because I knew, I just knew it's real. And that 45 minutes there, these people can tell that that's real. And you haven't come on blowing the smoke up anyone's ass, telling us how good Messi is and all that. We know that. You're trying to tell us that there's been a connection lost with your club. And
True.
It's upsetting, and the fans in Paris aren't the ones you see on the TV with the Messi shirts on and the Jordan or waving at the camera. Yeah, that's fine. But the true underbelly, the real grit of Paris is not happy with this ownership. And that's what I think you've got across. But let everybody know where they can find you, mate.
Thank you, mate. So you can find us on all socials at Parisian Londoner. We are a group of PSG fans in between Paris and London, developing content on our dear football club, that for people that don't speak French, basically, so they can understand the true passion of that football club and the true PSG fans. You can find us on Twitter at Paris LDN, and also our YouTube channel, Parisian Londoner. We are doing podcasts with ex-players, journalists as well, like true PSG fans, people from the ultras. And we are currently, by the way, that's a very good point. We are currently working on a documentary, mini documentary next season with the ultras, so you can see how we support from the inside, the charity that they are involved in as well, how we prepare a T4, all the the animations that you see in the stands, etc. How you can see the true passion of PSG fans. We are also working with the PSG Academy in the UK to work on a little documentary with them on why the little youngsters are joining the PSG Academy instead of the Man City, of the Man United or Chelsea Academy in the UK. Are they really educated around the history of the club, or are they joining for Messi and Neymar? It's also a very good, very good topic that we will develop during the rest of the next season. And have a look. Big things that are coming up, and I hope you will understand now more the real passion of true PSG fans here.
No, I appreciate it, mate. And listen, people, please hit the like button. I'm nearly at 20k on this. I thought I was only 80 away from 20k, but I'm blind, so I need another 1,000 or something to get to 20k. But when we get to 20k, we'll do a giveaway. I'll do a signed Haaland shirt or something like that. We'll give away. But listen, it's pre-season. Please leave some nice comments. Me and Stuart will come in the comments later and we'll reply. And listen, it's a different show. It's not bullshit. We're not talking about fucking Declan Rice or for 6 weeks. We don't give a shit. We're talking about real stuff with real fans, and that's what we do on this channel. So peace, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Big up Man City, champions of Europe.
Well
And
done, lads. Well done.
Lionel Messi shit. See you in a bit.